All right, guys, what is up? We're back for another video, and today we got the man Brandon Horne in the house. What is up, brother?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Glad to have you on today.
Absolutely.
And so before we really jump into, I want to tell people how like me and you got connected, actually.
Oh man. So last year, doing my research, doing all of my due diligence, and learning more about the pressure washing world, came across one of your videos, and I was just blown away at the knowledge you had about pressure washing. And even just the way that you carried yourself doing videos and things like that. I was just like, yo, I got to meet this guy, man. But in the meantime, let's, continue to go ahead and look at some videos and do things, that were going to help me. So I think that I reached out because I had a roof job, and I think you had just did a video on roof cleaning.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I got this big job coming up. I split it down the middle with you if you come help me or whatever. And you was just like, nah, I got you. And I was just taken aback because people don't do that, especially in this industry, man. It seems like everybody's for themselves, but we met a good brother like yourself. We've been pretty tight ever since, and just been rolling like that, sharing information.
Yeah, it's been super dope, man. It's been dope to meet you and get connected. So I wanted to just share that so people could kind of get an idea how we roll out here, man. Like people are so caught up in competition and so worried about like. Now listen, if we can all eat out here. You know what I'm saying? Like we can all
Absolutely.
eat, and we're all reaching different clientele, different customers, and so like you don't have to go into this business or any industry with a selfish mindset. But I think that was super, just I think valuable to share. And so if you guys out there, whether you want to reach out to somebody reach out to you, don't be afraid to connect with people.
Don't be afraid.
Don't have that limited mindset. So let's get into so give us a little bit of background on yourself, Brandon. Like where you grew up at, what were you doing before pressure washing?
I'm gonna just tap all the way in. Born and raised Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Not really a troubled background, but I always felt like I could do things the way I wanted to do them, which now has led me to being a full-time entrepreneur. But went to high school here, dropped out of high school, didn't feel as though, I wanted to go back to high school because I allowed pride to set in, thinking about what everybody would think about me. And I, again, dropped out of high school in 2004, and, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just sell drugs. I mean, you just got to be completely transparent. That didn't quite work out. And I knew that that wasn't for me. So long story short, got back into school, got my high school diploma. And then several years passed, doing a few minor jobs. Then I got the idea to go back to college for a biology degree.
Wow.
High school dropout to then go to a biology degree was just kind of insane, but I was actually able to get in. Thought about nursing. I just had so many different things on my mind. So, however, I graduated from Winston-Salem State with a biology degree in 2015. And as I was working at as I was attending Winston-Salem State, I was working at a company called Stanley Steamer. Some you may already know, a carpet cleaning business. And there was this lady like, do you know someone that know how to pressure wash homes? And I told her no. And I went and finished doing something. Better yet, the guy that I was working with, he was like, look, I need you to go get something out the car. So I looked at the house when I went outside to go get the materials out of the van or what have you. And the house wasn't that bad. And I was like, Brandon, you could do this. All it is just a pressure washer. I have I messed this lady house up. I think the first job took me like 4 hours. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just writing stuff.
That sounds like a lot of us.
Yeah, man. And that was where it started. And I'm forever grateful at that moment because who would have ever thought 10 years later, I'd be doing this thing full time and making the amount of money that I'm making and able to touch the lives that I'm able to touch and connecting with guys like yourself.
Amazing. So we just connected last year. So you told me last year was your first full-time year with your pressure washing business, right? Because before there was a side hustle.
Well, yeah, for the past 9 years, it was a side hustle. As you all know, once I graduated from Winston-Salem State, I then went on to doing cancer research. I did cancer research for 2 years. Pretty nice field to be in, but kind of got burnt out of that really quick. Then I then had a passion for insurance because a lot of my patients didn't have the insurance that was needed. So I figured I would take on the responsibility to be able to encourage and teach them about the different insurances that was needed. Then got laid off. So I was just like, you know what? No more of getting laid off and giving somebody the opportunity to starve and feed me. So I figured I'd take control of that.
Wow, wow. So going from part-time and pressure washing to full-time, let off your job, and you having to depend on this business to feed you, like what changed and like what did it take? You know, how was that mental shift? What did that look like?
Man, I'm still struggling some nights, man. I mean, like my brain won't cut off. Some nights I just have to, just really separate myself. But I mean, you got so many different hats to put on, and it's not to scare the guys just wanting to get into the industry because everything could be learned. I've learned things from you. I've learned things from other people that could have brought me further along my way prior to me even, getting into this industry. But, it's just a mindset of, learning. It's a continuous learning thing, learning what type of chemicals you're going to use, learning about the equipment, learning how effective the equipment is. And just learning all of the nicks and gainies, if you go and hook up some water to a house, make sure that there's nothing coming out of the spigot because it'll clog up your water supply. So it's a lot of different things that I've had to learn. And, again, it's a continuous thing. I'm learning even to this day.
Wow, man, it's so funny. Like I think back to like my own stories too about like horror stories when I first started because I think a lot of people, because we use the term pressure washing so loosely, is that everyone thinks that it's just, oh, I go buy a pressure washer, boom, I'm in business. All I gotta do is spray water against the house. And boy, it is not that. Like I didn't realize how much more education is involved, man. Because like I don't know exactly how your first probably horror story with pressure washing went, but I'm gonna tell you mine real quick. Because I was doing side jobs. Like I think I started like probably either 17 or 18 years old when I first came across pressure washing, and I was starting to get a little bit jobs here and there, not much at all, just a few during the summer. And this one lady from the church I went to found out I did pressure washing, and so I went out and did her house. And at that point, I was using this one chemical from like Lowe's called like Home Armor or Mold Armor, whatever. I don't know what it's called. It was like $9 a bottle. I thought I was like, oh, this stuff is magic, man. Like, because before I was using Purple Power. Because, like, here's the thing: when you listen to all these different people, you get so much different information, and you just hear from like, Joe Schmoes who say they pressure wash. So I'm getting advice here. I'm like, oh, okay, great. I'm thinking they're geniuses. Like, oh, Purple Power, cool. So I use that. I'm like, this don't work that great. And I saw somebody spraying the mold armor or whatever in their home. I was like, wait, that's working pretty good. And I didn't know that it was just bleach I need to use.
Just bleach, yeah.
I'm spending $9 for like per gallon on these things. And so I went in this lady's house, and this is back when I really didn't know nozzles and pressures. So we finished the house. When it was wet, looked great. Bro, it dried.
Yeah.
Oxidation. I used too much pressure. Side of the house was horrendous, man. And like I'm 18 years old. I had experience, bro. I'm scared. I'm like, yo, I can't pay to fix this house. So I was nervous. And so I know, luckily, so I was Googling, so I tried to do some things to fix it. And so I think I went on some forum. One of the things said use like tire shine. So I went out there and put it on there. Had side of her house looking all crazy. Then the rain came, rinsed it off. And she was like, all right, we got to do something about this. So luckily, we just resolved it with the refund. And I hadn't talked to her since. But after that, I quit pressure washing. Oh, yeah. I quit pressure washing for 2 years because I was so discouraged because I didn't know proper process. So that fear held me back from, like, I didn't want to mess up someone's home like that again. And so that lack of education caused me to stop. Sure. And then 2 years later, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this again and see if I can learn more. And so since then, it's been like, constantly trying to educate myself. And so I was just share that because, I know, like, you probably have something, along the lines of, something,
Yeah.
Disaster.
And like you said, we already are, afraid sometimes to take that next step to, achieve or, at least try to accomplish whatever. But when you have those setbacks like that, it just makes it more, it magnifies it a lot more. So you're gonna make mistakes. Trust me, you're gonna make mistakes. You're not gonna know everything. You know, and a few years, it's something always still needed to be learned. And you know, like you said with your story, you know, you just hopefully learn from those and continue to move forward for sure.
So I'm curious, what's been your biggest learning lessons this past year of, turning your side hustle into your main income?
Man, dope question, man. Most importantly, marketing, and having help. I thought that I could do this thing all by myself for so long, and you know, it sometimes you burn yourself out. And with that being said, you know, we already have so many different hats, from marketing, being the accountant, learning how to save, being able to put your personal life in, being the father I am. So many other different attributes, trying to put all into this one little circle could definitely be a lot sometimes. So I would definitely say just budgeting my time, managing my time better, budgeting my finances, and most importantly, marketing. Marketing is essential to this business because you can have the $20,000 rig without any clients, and you're then just stuck with a $20,000 rig.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, that's huge. Sales and marketing. I think a lot of people don't put enough emphasis on that. I think a lot of guys in this industry do get caught up, and I'm like one of the people who preach like start with what you got and focus on like getting the business, getting good at what you're doing. Because if you go out there and spend all that money, and you don't have no clients, like cool, you have a shiny object, but no, that's
yeah,
like shiny objects don't make money. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You're not gonna make money, being unknown. So the biggest thing is, getting your name out there,
absolutely.
building up reviews, and I would say also, I talked about somebody just yesterday, and another important thing too is being likable. Having great
Yeah,
customer service. And I can tell, by from being around you, man, like you have a great spirit. You're great with interacting with people. You have a great personality. So, and that's definitely an asset for you, with your business.
absolutely, man. You hit the nail right on the head. You know, with all of those other different things you must have, being able to market yourself, save time management, you have to be a likable person and able to conversate with people. If you're not a conversation starter, man, this is probably the toughest business to be in because a lot of business comes from initiating conversations. What is it that you do? How can I be of a service to what it is that you do, whether it's a realtor, whether it's construction, whether it's dumpster trucks or what have you. So definitely got to be a likable person.
Wow.
Absolutely.
What do you do to keep yourself motivated and good spirit and being self-employed, especially full time? Having a family, all that stuff can be, very stressful. Obviously, I ask these questions because we're all in different positions in life. I'm a
Sure.
little bit younger than you. I don't have kids, so I would like some insight into, what is that like for you, man? Like that motivation to keep going, because sometimes in business, regardless of what other circumstances you have, like business can be up and down. And so
Man.
I know for me early on, and even now sometimes too, like those down days, like you might have a great week, then another week where it slows up, and all of a sudden you like, dang man, I need to get a job, or I gotta find something else, so you can get discouraged. So I'm just curious, like I just want to pick your brain on that and get some insights, how you operate.
Well, man, so many other, so many different things, man. I'm listening to something positive day in and day out. Whether it's Les Brown, you know, so many different people. I can't even call the names right now, but even reading books, you know, that is just very important because I know sometimes even in business, I find myself trying to do it all and trying to learn it all. But sometimes I got to take a step back and be present with my family. A lot of the times that could be a little hard. Um, Transitioning from part time to full time, realizing everything is weighed on the shoulders of how your business produces. And it could be challenging. And I just had a son recently. He was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. And what that is just the left side of his heart didn't fully develop during pregnancy. So that's a whole nother situation my fiance and I are dealing with. And, it's just roll with the punches, man. I just learned to adapt. I know sometimes it might not work all the time, but day in and day out, I'm listening to something positive, and reading something positive and affirming what it is that I do want to achieve. Because without those daily affirmations, when you do have those slow days, it sometimes seems like, you can't see no further than the window sometimes. But just having a vision, having a goal, and knowing that most importantly, God got you on the back end for sure.
Wow, man, that's heavy. That's real heavy, bro. How important how important of a role has fatherhood played in your life?
Man, that's my why. Um, I have a 10-year-old son and I have a 6-month-old son. I had to redefine my why when my 6-month-old son was born. Um, and, that's why I strive, man. I believe in legacy. Um, Legacy is changing where I came from, and being able to leave something for, my sons, and, you know, just being able to show them, hey, look, this is what hard work can get. And if you don't have that mindset of what your why is, or what type of legacies you're going to leave behind, sometimes you just find yourself spinning in circles, just kind of chasing the tail. That's just my honest opinion. So I believe that it's very important to identify what your why is. And a lot of the time, your why today might not be your why tomorrow. So you have to re-identify and rearrange what your why is and why it is your why, if that makes sense.
Yeah, wow. Now that's really powerful, and I completely agree. I think vision and purpose is super important to have in life.
Yeah.
And one of the things I tell people too, because a lot of people are like, well, how do I find purpose? How do I find vision? And I don't believe that you're not gonna wake up necessarily knowing what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for me personally, I believe that in order to find your purpose and your why, I think you have to play your role too in the part where you might not necessarily know exactly what it is, but I think you got to be in movement. And
Absolutely.
that doesn't mean like, just all over the place, but you have to be. When I say in movement, you have to be ready to to go. It's like you got to be ready to take that journey to wherever it may lead you. And so I think
Absolutely.
more than just movement, I think what I'm really trying to say is a willingness to move.
Absolutely.
So that now, Soup,
And,
I'm glad you shared
and,
that.
and just even sometimes as entrepreneurs, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, my mind is all over the place sometimes trying to figure out what that next move is. But I was referred to read this book, Master One by Jordan Rainer. And there's a saying in this book that has just kind of stuck to me, like, man, you could be the saying is there's a be there's a you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. But what he says is be a jack of many and a master of one.
Hmm.
And I was just like, man, that just definitely resonated with me. And just even seeing that allowed me to say, okay, stop stretching yourself so thin. If you're trying to master this business, master it, and then allow that to then put you in other positions to grow, to go into another level or what have you. But I definitely say, read as much as you can on this business and continue to just feed yourself positivity for sure.
That's awesome. So, guys, continue to grow yourself is what he's saying. It's super important. Definitely look into that book. Say the title one more time for us.
The Master of One by Jordan Rainer.
There
Super
you go.
dope book.
Definitely, guys, look that book up. So I'm curious now. So with going into year two of full time, what do you want to do this year, 2021? Where do you see your business going? Where do you see yourself going?
Oh man, I just recently purchased. So I had a trailer already, 5x8, just kind of a starter, and had pressure wash and everything mounted. So I have just recently purchased me a 7x14 open trailer, water tank and everything. So my business was my vision for 2021 was to expand, which I'm in the process of now doing. Now bringing on other guys, showing them how to the importance of exterior cleaning and things like that. But I also want to be able to bring in some youth and show them about trade and show them how to, go out and present themselves in a manner of being able to start their own business, or be able to, create a pressure washing business later on. This business has been, this industry has been nothing but great to me. And I think that if we continue to pass that along, that may not be what someone may want to do later on, but it would definitely spark your interest in entrepreneurship. So definitely want to be able to push entrepreneurship more into the community and bring some youth under my wing and say, hey, look, we can start here and move from there, and hopefully be able to build something from there.
I love that, bro. Each one teach one. And and I think that's legacy right there, man. That's legacy.
Absolutely.
This is bigger than you. It's bigger than you and me. It's bigger than any of us. It's always about, to me, it's always about the next generation. When we leave, we can't take nothing with us.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely.
So, give it all away while you can, while you're here. Pass down, knowledge, pass down mentorship, and skills. I think that's super important. And specifically for me, I like to push more people towards really kind of experimenting with life. That you might try this and try that, and it might not be a thing, but you might find one thing you do like. But I think along the lines, two of the paths of skilled labor industries versus just, always everyone going to college. I think, more young men and young women should, experiment with these other fields, because, man, people don't realize there's good money in these industries.
Absolutely.
I didn't even realize, the money that could be made in, in the exterior cleaning industry until, I started, getting deeper into the industry. It's like, whoa, man. I was like, my eyes opened up, it blew me away, because I always tell people, everyone has an uncle who pressure washes, or somebody who, does pressure washing as a side hustle, but, it's $50 here and $100 there. They're not really making the money from it.
Absolutely.
And so when you actually turn to a business and, and learn the different things the industry has to offer, it turns into a whole new game, playing field.
Right. And like you just said, I mean, kids wanting to go to college and this, that, and the third, I totally push college. But for me to be able to experience college and now entrepreneurship, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should have picked a different major, maybe a business major. But I'm so grateful of the experience, because I can now tell my sons, hey, look, or even just encourage either or, and give them, just kind of the pros and the cons to both of them. So, I think it's a pretty dope thing.
Nice. So, so this year, you got your new trailer, looking to expand, add people onto your team. Any more services looking to add this year? So last year was your first year roof washing. Sure. I know for myself, I'm looking to definitely push more roof washing jobs. I kind of almost falling in love with that service. Yeah. Anything else you want to add to your business, window cleaning or?
Absolutely. So I'm definitely looking into window cleaning now. Also doing, gutter guards. I like to be able to start bringing in gutter guards as well, because that would then save my clients on the back end. And I think that was it for right now. Like I said, I don't want to add too much at one time, and then I'm kind of losing sight of where I am. Right. So, just being able to install gutter guards and also window cleaning for sure.
Nice. And so you just got back from your first ever industry event. Tell us a little bit about that. Was it worth it? Would you recommend other people check out industry events? What did you learn networking?
Yeah. So what you're talking about is the power washing conference that happened maybe 2 weeks ago, February 16th, whatever. But it was super dope, man. You thought you knew everything there was to know about pressure washing until you go into one of these conferences. There's just so much knowledge. You got people that's been doing it for years and years. You got people from every background, marketing, gutters, sealing, every piece of pressure, exterior cleaning that you could think of. And I just think that it was very valuable to my growth, because I was able to then bring more marketing from a marketing standpoint into my business. I was able to then, learn more about the chemicals and different mixtures of the chemicals and the importance of using certain chemicals for other things. So I think that I would highly recommend people being able to tap into that. You know, everybody has have a, hey, well, I don't want to do it because people are trying to sell me something. But as somebody told me once, don't go in the basement. Just stay above. You know, learn what you can learn. Take good notes, and if there's something that could offer you in your business, by all means, tap in and purchase. But I think that it's an amazing thing to do, and I will definitely be going year in on the next year.
That's dope. So what I got out of that is one is being open minded to to always be getting new information, be willing to listen. So part of that just means you got to be you got to humble yourself.
Absolutely.
So don't be a know it all. Don't be a be a guru. Always be open to to hearing other people. And then the other part is people is tapping in. Leverage people not in a using way, but there's people around you with different skill sets, different knowledge that you don't have. And so you can either be the person who's like, oh, I'm gonna figure this out on my own, or you can tap in with people who already know what you're looking for, and you can shorten the gap, shorten that time. You don't have to go through all the heartaches and failures. You can tap in with people who already, got the information for you and save you time. And I know for myself, like joining a lot of these groups has been super beneficial, networking to just learning different like tricks and the trade chemicals to use. That's dope, man. So guys, definitely if you're in this industry, tap in with the groups, tap in with the industry events. I'm going to one in New Jersey here coming up in March. I'm excited for that. So no matter where you're at, always strive for the next level. And as we get closer to wrapping things up, I want to ask you this question right here. If you could go back to your younger self, maybe let's say high school, what would you tell yourself? What's one or two important lessons you would give yourself, or things you would say to that younger version of Brandon?
Man, dope question, man. One of the most important things is be patient with yourself. A lot of the times I find myself just very impulsive. I found myself back in the day very impulsive and trying to do different things, and I would fall on my face a lot of the times. But be patient. And most of my last one would be discover your why. Because once you discover your why, you then have something to push more. You have something to push toward. And you're not just kind of scrounging around trying to figure out who you are and where you want to be. That why, once that why is clearly defined, you can then, going towards that direction so you can make sure that you are fulfilling the goals and the dreams that you set out for yourself to complete that why.
Wow. Guys, this has been super powerful. It's been amazing sitting here to actually sit down with you and kind of learn more about your story, even things I didn't know beforehand. And we've talked, we've had drinks together, lunch together, whatever times. And so it's always good, to be able to have a conversation, with another brother, and just get to learn about your story. And so I appreciate you coming on here and on this platform and be able to share your story with other people, because I'm sure that your story is going to relate to other people out here, and you're going to inspire some people, with your story, whether it's, fatherhood or transitioning from, one career to the next, or whether it's, childhood, circumstances. And so I think you're a great example here today, in your leadership, and that, you're example that people can change if you put your mind to it, and the power of discovering the why and gaining focus and clarity in your life. And so, I love that about you, man. And, I'm rooting for you this year, man. I hope everything that you're working towards manifests, and just keep growing and keep being an inspiration, keep leading, keep being a good father. And, I know great things are to come for you, bro.
Hey, man, I truly appreciate you again for the opportunity. It's just crazy how this happens in full circle. Just last year, I was thinking like, dang, how can I meet this guy? Now I'm actually having the honor to be on your YouTube channel. So, man, much prosperity and respect to you. And I hope everything works out. And of course, we're going to collab throughout the year.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, truly appreciate the opportunity to be on here to, give a few words.
Man, I appreciate that. That's 100%. So if anybody wanted to connect with you, Are you on any platforms anybody can connect with you or hit you up on?
Absolutely. Brandon Horne on Facebook, and Cool B85 on Instagram, or B Pressure Washing Services on Instagram. I also have a nonprofit organization called Be Positive. So please check that out as well. That's on Facebook and Instagram as well. Be Positive, where we encourage a positive perspective amongst the youth in hopes of maximizing their fullest potential. So definitely tap into that as well, and we'll be hearing from y'all.
That's dope, man. So, guys, I'm gonna tag all his information in the description below this video. I appreciate everyone tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time on the Zay One Journal channel. Peace out.
Peace.